I got another one for you. It's called Lady Chatterley's Lover. So we got these two people named Connie and Cliff. They end up getting married. Now Clifford's last name is Chatterby. You know what I'm saying? So what is the reason for that? Apparently his peoples are married into money and stuff like that. So they pretty much run a certain part of the area or a city or country or whatever. But it was all because they had love for each other. Now she's always looked up to her sister Hilda. Now at this point in time they were basically staying in London. But here's the thing. They wanted to get married before Cliff went off to war again. So basically after he was gone for like 6 months, they ended up getting the old estate. Yeah, Clifford was able to come back from the war, but the problem was he was paralyzed from the waist down. So she was basically going to have to pretty much tend to his every need, but she didn't mind because she loved him. But as time passed, because he was a nobleman and he know he's going to be struggling or whatever like that, he wanted to hire some maids. So he got maids to work around the house, and then he got like groundskeepers and like pretty much a whole bunch of stuff to tend to the land and whatnot. Now, one particular groundskeeper is a dude by the name of Oliver. He basically grew a kinship to him because he was partying in the war too. So he's thinking to himself like, why do you even want to be a groundskeeper? He was like, at this stage of the game, I just need some downtime, quiet time. So it gets to a point she's pretty much taking care of him and everything like that. And she's basically been maintaining the grounds, for at least about a couple months. So after a while, she wants to go on walks, go on places or whatever. The thing is, Clifford can't go to all these places because of his like wheelchair and the condition and, how being able to get to these places without, having trouble. So she wants her to go explore the land. And while she's doing that, Clifford's being like a very accomplished writer, He wants to write about his memoirs and things of that nature. And she's actually been helping him out with it at times. Now, when it comes to the bedroom, things haven't been great for, obvious reasons. Now, they say his legs will eventually get better, but we all know that's bullshit. They're trying to have hopes on one day, he might be able to give her kids. So they outside in the backyard one day, and he starts talking to her and says, you know what? I wouldn't mind if, you picked the right person, but if you were to have a kid by somebody else, we could raise it. And I was just like, huh? The reason he's even suggesting this is because he does want somebody to, run the area, continue on the legacy and whatnot. But he knows he's not going to be able to do that for her. And he trusts her judgment to pick the right suitor. Now, at this point, she's thinking to herself, why the fuck would I do that? I love you. Problems come when the newspapers comes in. And his journals and memoirs are getting bad reviews. So he's got to control other things in the land when it comes to like the mining companies and whatnot. Now, Connie hasn't been able to talk to her sister Hilda in a while because she's been constantly working and doing stuff around the house. But she's been able to send her letters every now and then. See, they're in a whole other part of the countryside, meanwhile her sister's still in London. Now, over time, Cliff's attitude starts to change a little bit. He's getting more focused with mining and, less focused on his wife. And not only that, he's getting real corrupt with the mining or whatever like that, charging them less money to be able to work more hours. But he looks at it as, I'm still giving them jobs as opposed to them walking around the streets not being able to provide for themselves. And there's basically been turmoil back and forth between them. But of course, Cliff doesn't look at it as a problem. Connie gets so frustrated, she starts tearing around stuff in her room. But at that same day, Hilda was actually able to come out there and cheer her up, you know what I'm saying? Now, remember the dude Oliver I was talking about? She starts spending a lot of time over there at the hut, but she'll play it off like, oh, he's looking after the chicks, the chickens and whatnot. Tending the gardens, doing all that type of stuff. But that was because Cliff used to ask her to go check. And she's been kind of using that as a hideaway, to be able to read books and clear her thoughts of mind and whatnot. And she was wondering if she can get a key to the spot. And he's thinking to himself, I think it was only one key, but you can ask. But it gets to a point they've been spending so much time together. One time she gets over there and then he actually gives her his key. Because it used to be just this little quiet spot, him and his dog. And she's basically been coming out there all the time now. Then it gets to a point her and Connie and Cliff get into this real heated argument. And she's so pissed off, she ends up going to the hut just waiting for Oliver to show up. She was looking at the chickens and then she got all distraught to start crying, just breaking down everything. And then she ended up kissing him and he ended up giving her the business. And this went on for a little while now. But the only reason he was able to continue on like that is when Hilda showed up. She knew in her letters that Connie was stressed. So she ended up bringing by this lady by the name of Miss Bolden to take care of Cliff. That way Connie don't have to be there all day waiting on him at hand and foot. So that's one of the main reasons why she was able to spend more time with Oliver. Now, Miss Bolton sympathizes with everything that's going on with Connie because, for one, she hates the damn mines, and two, her husband died in them. And the fact that Cliff is doing what he's doing with the people in the mines, she really doesn't want to side with Cliff at all, but bottom line is she's working for him, so that's what it is. And then on top of that, when her husband died, they stiffed her on the money. She was supposed to get she only got like 300 pounds or some shit like that. But her husband worked in the mines for like 10 years. It was just disrespectful. So anyway, it gets to a point where Oliver and Connie are really feeling each other. They like attached at the hip. But Connie finds out from a friend that Oliver is not fully divorced. He has a wife, but his wife is basically just sticking him for pension money. And she was sleeping around with a whole bunch of people while he was at war. And then she's dealing with some dude named Ned. And they basically moved in together somewhere. So he's basically trying to get out of his marriage, but you're not really sure where Connie's heading with it just yet. You're thinking to yourself at this point, she just wants to have a kid. I mean, hell, her husband gave her permission and shit. So it gets to a certain point where Connie's about to go on this trip with her sister, Linda, to go to like Venice to see her dad. She said she'll probably be gone about like 3 weeks at the most. And seeing how Miss Bolton's going to be there to take care of Cliff, she don't really have nothing to worry about. But there have been rumors going around and people getting suspicious about stuff, even though Cliff is not really paying attention to it, he's hearing it. But don't nobody know nothing yet, they just act like they know something. So at this point, she knows that she's pregnant because she's been smashing Oliver constantly throughout the days. So her plan is to make Cliff think that she's messing with somebody at Venice or whatever like that. So that way he won't suspect it's Oliver or anything like that. And the crazy thing is he's actually delighted to have her go going by those reasonings. So it gets to the day where they're about to go to Venice. Hilda picks her up. Before they go, they get Connie to stop by at Oliver's little hut. So she tells Hilda what's up, but Hilda feels some type of way about the situation. She's telling him like, hey, do you ever stop to think that, if you could possibly lose your job, what are you going to do to make sure that she's good? You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of things she said to her, but the way she broke it down, she pretty much has a point. But they basically like, fuck all that. We find the love, regardless. They end up doing the do. She says she'll be over there early in the morning. Next morning, Oliver hears a knock at the door, and he tells Connie to just chill out, hide over to the other side, right? Turns out Ned's at the fucking door. Ned's basically coming by to collect some more pension money for his ex-wife, Bertha or whatever. He's like, man, you don't get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit. So Oliver had to make sure the coast was clear with Ned to make sure that Connie could be able to get out. You know what I'm saying? So now Connie, Hilda, and her dad are at the spot right now. The dad tried to talk some sense into or whatever. He's like, look, you can do what you do with Oliver or whatever like that, but don't divorce Cliff. He basically trying to make sure she's good so she can, have some financial backing. Which in hindsight makes sense, but do you think she's really going to do that? Because she's gotten to the point where she loves Oliver. No, scratch that. She's in love with Oliver. All right, so here's how the rumors pick back up. I guess at one point, Oliver went to go do his groundskeeper stuff. Ned sneaks back into the house. He ends up finding some garments that were burnt in the fireplace. You could tell they're lady garments. He's like, He takes some of his pension money that's just sitting out. It's just like, why you got this shit sitting out? And then he finds one of Connie's books that he has lying around, which he looks through and has her name in it. So he's like, there you go, a bunch of evidence right there. He starts spreading rumors to his peoples. The girls start spreading rumors about the shit. It gets back to Cliff, and Cliff is feeling like a damn fool. So basically, his advisor's telling him, like, look, you got to fire Oliver for real. Miss Bolton gets word of it. She relays the message to Connie. Oliver's called up to the mansion. He gets an earful from Cliff. He's done deal, canned. So now he's going back to his spot. He's got to pack his shit up. Nobody even knows that Connie was on her way back. She had already rushed back to his spot. She ends up kissing him and all this other stuff. She's like, yo, I'm going to find you. One day I'm going to find you. I got to get up out of here, though. They end up taking Oliver off the grounds. Connie exits out the back, meets back up with Hilda, and they go to Venice for real. Now, I'm not really sure how much time has passed by, but a certain amount of time has passed. And she's at this point just getting tired of Venice. One day, Connie's sitting on the porch, and Hilda gets a letter or whatever like that. But it's a letter actually from Oliver. He gives this long, heartfelt letter, whatever like that, saying that he's back in Scotland and he found a little job out there. He gave her the location. She got in her car and zoomed out that bitch quick. She was in the area direction. This young shepherd told her where to go, whatever like that, and he's in this little hut. She's searching all around the hut, can't find nothing. Then all of a sudden, Oliver pops up out of nowhere right behind her. They get to kiss and they live happily ever ever, and that's the end of the movie. Basically a love story where the lady gives up everything just to be with her true love. Okay, so the thing was, in the final argument between Connie and Cliff, now you're thinking to yourself, Cliff wanted to have a baby so it could be an heirloom, you know what I'm saying, to with the family. The problem is, everybody know the baby is coming from his former gatekeeper. Rumors spreading like wildfire, and he doesn't need that type of reputation. So considering what she wanted, she decides to let him go, and she really wants to divorce. But the thing is, he says he'll never divorce her, but he doesn't want to keep a child that's been tarnished by the gatekeeper. So he does decide to let her go. And that's why she pretty much stayed in Venice the whole time until she got that letter from Oliver saying that he was in Scotland. Perfect love story. Somewhat. Anyway, Lady Chatterley's Lover on Netflix. Check it out.